What is a power position? You've probably heard that term a lot here in Warzone 2 or any BR really, where people talk about needing the power position to help you get the win. Power position can be a lot of different things, and I'm going to give you 5 different tips to identify power positions on your own to help you catch those dubs. We're going to be using the acronym later to go through each of those 5 because that's what you're going to be telling the lobby when you hop in that chopper and take that sweet victory. If you like today's content, make sure to subscribe for more because I break down all of my wins to help show you my thought process on how I rotate, different plays that I make, or decisions that I make. Without further ado, let's go ahead and start with the L. The L is location. Location is probably the simplest to explain, but the hardest to learn. Location is exactly what it sounds like. Where are you located on the map? A good example of this is high rise is always going to be a power position. However, if high rise is on the edge of the first zone, it's not really very good for you because the location is bad. When we talk about location, it's mainly towards the center circle. Early game, it doesn't quite matter as much because you don't really know where it's going to end. But towards the late game, the more central you are, the better position you're going to have where you're not forced to make a bad rotation, making you exposed to your opponents. In this clip right here, you can see how we picked a strong building to hold for some of the other reasons we're going to talk about, and we made sure that it was close to center circle, so as the zones closed, I was constantly in that spot without needing to move or rotate and expose myself, and that made it an easy dub for me. The second one that we're going to talk about is accessibility, and what I mean by that is how easy is it for your opponent to access your location. The fewer access points you have, the fewer areas you need to defend to prevent somebody from getting to you. A great example of this is these blue warehouses where it kind of overhangs on the one side. There's only one stairwell that goes up. There's a ladder to the roof, but there's no actual access from the roof, making it a really easy spot to defend and hold. Versus a building like this, which has windows everywhere, even with a full 4-man squad, it's hard to hold down all of those angles and prevent your opponents from getting inside the building. The same goes for any other sort of building. The way you kind of want to think about it is if all of you are forced to hold one angle each to prevent somebody from getting into that building or getting into that power position, then you're kind of in a tough spot because you can't have your teammates come and help you. Versus if you only have one entry point, then one person can be responsible for that while the other 3 are focused on eliminating teams in the surrounding areas. The third element we're going to look for is terrain. And what I mean by terrain is, what is the terrain like around you? Are there lots of buildings? Are there rocks? Are you on top of a hill? Are you in the valley? Those types of things will determine how valuable the area is to you. For example, you could have a really great power position, but if you have no visibility because of trees or buildings or other things, anybody can still get to you, and it doesn't really help you out a lot because you can't eliminate your opponents as they approach you. Versus if you have a power position like this hill here next to Satik Caves, you can see everything. The people who are approaching you don't have any cover, so you can use the hill as your cover and you can look directly down upon them, making it a whole lot easier for you to eliminate them than the other way around. Our fourth item is elevation. This is a really simple one, and going back to our original example, which was high rise, it's the tallest thing around, meaning you don't need to worry about anything vertically. All you need to worry about are the different access points. So in your given location, and again, this is going to be circle dependent because as the circle closes, what the tallest point in a given area is will change. The higher you are up, the more comfortable you can feel with not needing to worry about somebody maybe peeking over a ledge from a building and beaming you. Places like High Rise, the Black Site on the east side of Al Mazrah, or down in Sawa Village are great examples of this, where you have the highest point for that part of the map, making it pretty much impossible for anybody to get to you without having to climb into your building and work their way up, or use a helicopter, which makes it easy for you to see them come in. The fifth and final item in our list is resources. Now, this could be a lot of different things, but when I think of resources, I think of what the strongholds and the black sites give to you. A lot of times the strongholds aren't the best buildings to hold because the bots are really annoying, but for black sites specifically, Most of the rooftops are easy to hold where the bots won't actually get to you. And you get the resource of having a constant UAV over the area if you've completed that black site. You also get the resource of all of those bots, so if anybody tries to approach you from down below, they're going to have to fight their way through the bots before they get to you. So that's just another example of how the power position can be good because of the additional resources it gives you beyond just the other factors that we talked about. Do you have any other tips for identifying power positions? If so, make sure to comment down below and I'll get back to you on those. If you enjoyed today's content, make sure to subscribe for more, as we'll be breaking down dubs and teaching you all the different ways that I utilize these 5 steps to identifying power positions to get the win.